What advice would you give to someone who is like just got their leaving cert results right now and they're not great? How did they even sit the exam?
Yeah, well, again, like that, education, I don't think is going to define how successful you are in business.
Today we have in with us Robert Giffney. I was at a talk last week. I was on the panel for it, and Robert was also on it as well. And he spoke just before the panel kicked off, and he had a really great story. And I actually had asked him at the time, look, could we meet up? And we caught up for a coffee, and we sort of seen a lot of synergy between us. And I sort of thought I asked him, would you consider coming in and having a chat with us about the podcast, just about your story, about your experience, and about your business that you set up. So thank you so much for coming in, Robert.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll probably just start with going back to where you're from.
Yes.
And if you want to just let us know whereabouts you're from.
Yeah, Dublin, born, reared in Dublin, Drumcondra.
Very good. And now you've got a barber shop, you've got a clothing line, you've got various different things going on. But bring us back to like whenever you were in school. What did you just tell us about your school experience? Did you enjoy it as something that you liked to do?
A tricky one. School wasn't really for me, unfortunately. And I know I say unfortunately, but it's just that's kind of what was driven into me from the time when I was in school. It was kind of given to you more that education was key, and without education you kind of don't have anything or you won't succeed. So for me, being creative, it was kind of a bit of a stumbling block you're given right from the start, which I realised then further down that it isn't key. Like it doesn't define what you do in success in business or anything like that. Yes.
Your golden.
But at the start, I suppose, school time, it was difficult. It's not even that it's hard for me to learn or anything like that. It's just it wasn't for me. I wasn't interested in it.
I was actually just about to ask, do you think it's just that you had absolutely
zero interest in it? I mean, I can read it. I read a book or I'd read a page, whatever. It just doesn't want to go in. I have no interest in it.
What about like art or anything like that?
Art. I'm good at art. I'm good at creative. I'm good at design. I'm good at music. So
yeah,
I hear things differently, and I'm kind of.
In school though, did you get the opportunity to be creative with art, to be creative with
I
music?
did art, but in school it's kind of, and especially back then even, I think we've adapted more now to kind of play up to strengths in kids like that, where they're creative.
I don't even think so yet. I actually think, like, I have my own opinions on the education system in a whole. I also left school at 16. I ran out the door. I couldn't wait to leave.
Yeah.
I didn't really find anything even creative in school. The one thing I did like whenever I was doing my GCSEs, there was a business module, and I was like, oh my God, I want to learn this.
Yeah.
And I'd done it, but I actually thought it just fell short. And they're probably teaching the same business module.
Yeah.
I would say it's not far off. So after school then, do you come from an educated family? Like
they are, yeah, they're all educated. I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters. It's a big family, and they're all educated. They're into stuff like that. I was kind of a little bit of a freak, or a little bit of a. they didn't understand me, as in. I'm not into sport either, so I mean I have 5 brothers, they're all into sport, they're all brilliant at football and golf and whatever, like, so I'm just there like being into drawing or creative or music, so they didn't really get me. School didn't get me, home didn't get me, so from the jump, like, I'm automatically considered.
Where did you find yourself then? Like, did you have creative friends, or
not even that I had creative friends. I kind of didn't even go down the route of being creative or even expressing kind of creative until kind of I was older or more kind of mature in life. I kind of just rode the wave, and like I ran out of school at 15, 16. My father had his own business, so I pretended I wanted to be a plumber. He owns a plumbing business, so I pretended I wanted to be a plumber just to get out of school. I knew it was a way out. Did that, and that I realised it wasn't really for me. I just did it just to get out of school. So I eventually then ended up working in his showroom, which is selling cookers and fires, whatever, like sales. So from that then I kind of found who I was really. Like, even the sales part I didn't mind. I was doing even something that wasn't necessarily something that I hated, like, so eventually then I got into design, and I studied fashion design.
So at that stage, did you think, right, okay, I'm going to go back to school now, or what did?
No, I never wanted to go back to school, and that's the thing that maybe put me off. I always wanted to say do design and do something that was creative, but everyone was telling me you can't go back to college, you can't do anything because you have no leaving cert. So it all just stemmed back to school then. So I was always haunted from the fact of, was never good enough at school, so I'm never going to be able to do something that I want to do or even further.
It's insane that's still people's mindset though.
It's in a lot, like,
you
it's,
know, I got 3 C's and 4 D's in my GCSEs, and I can remember ringing my best mate, and I was like, oh my god, I got 3 C's and 4 D's, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't studied.
I got
hadn't
2
done anything.
A's.
Wow, that's unreal.
And I'm an idiot.
Right. So he got 3 C's and 4 D's, and he was disgusted with his results, right? He was like, he was disgusted with it, and I was delighted, and he couldn't understand how I was delighted, and I was saying, it gets us into the course we want to do, because I end up going and doing refrigeration just like you done plumbing. It's weird. So I end up doing that. But so whenever so what was your first job then was in the sales, and then
first job in the sales, whatever, and then I realized I kind of tried to take it into my own hands then. So I figured there has to be something out there that I could do, because this wasn't gonna last. Like, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I researched, and I found I could go to college and study fashion design. You just had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So that was what I did then. So I worked hard, got a bit of money up, went to college. It was the first time in my life I was like in a classroom with like-minded people. Like,
you chose to be
there. Skipped
there.
into college every morning. I couldn't believe I was like, this is what people to be giving out about going to college.
So what was that? Was that course like full time, or what was it?
Full time, yeah. It was full time course. It was on Dominic Street in Portobello Institute, and from that I got a day's internship. I think a day or two unpaid internship in Michael H, which was a fashion house, a big fashion house in Ireland at the time. Like, they were in Arnott's and everything like that. But I got a day or two, I think, unpaid up there. And I went up there, couldn't believe it. Like, I loved it. I was around designers and factory workers and everything like that. And I could see things being taken from scratch and made into a garment. Like, I loved it. And so from there then, they asked me would I stay on and do 2 weeks. So I went back down to the college, and we had a chat with the college or whatever, and they said I could do that. Did that. Then they asked me, we had a meeting or whatever, and they brought the college up, and they said that they would give me a job as an assistant designer.
Brilliant.
If the college would allow it.
Okay.
So it was the first time I was ever in college. It was the first piece of paper I was ever going to get out of education. I wanted to complete the college course.
So did they want you to like leave college and then go and take a job?
Yeah. God. Which then at that time, like, as well, it's like I have a job that I love. I love this. Like, so will I, won't I? But it's the first time as well I can get a piece of paper from school that I loved.
What did you do then?
We had a meeting, and we figured then that I would go and take the job, and I would be allowed then. It was on the way home. I'd walk by college, so I'd pick up my college work, go home and do that. Drop that in the morning before work, go to work, and then do that every day. So I did it until I got it. I got the cert anyway at the end. And
God, that's brilliant. So that's great. So that brings you up. So at this point, like, what was your family thinking at that point? Because you'd obviously left school and like.
I think it was the first time maybe they realised, all right, maybe you can do something.
I know.
Because in my family, I'm known as Phelan. That is my name, because I fail at everything.
Oh my God.
It was kind of the first time that I'd done something that was.
Well, that's brilliant.
Pat in the back.
So at that point, right, so you're working as in fashion design, and you finally saying, oh my God, I'm going the right direction here.
Yeah.
So what was the next stage then, or what happened next?
The next stage was I was always cutting hair. I had always done that. I took a year out before that, and I went and lived in Spain. I worked in a bar before I did that. So that I got that out of my system and had a bit of fun and everything like that. And I learned a lot over there. But I got it out of my system, so I was ready to work. So when I started the fashion or whatever, I loved it, and it was something that I could do and even see maybe a future in it. So I was cutting hair. I'd been cutting hair all my life, kind of growing up for friends, brothers, sisters, and I didn't realize.
Were you self-taught or?
Self-taught, yeah. And I didn't realize that I was even doing it or good at it. It was just something that people would ask me to do, and I'd do it. Yeah. So then from the fashion you'd be looking at photo shoots, and you'd be on to things like that, and you'd see that there'd be barbers or hairdressers and makeup artists and stuff like that, and I'd be like, I wanted to be all rounded. I wanted to be able to have a bit of everything now, because I'm in my genre. Like, I love what I'm doing. So I ended up then, I researched, and I found that I could do a barbering course.
Brilliant. That's like in the evolution of success is a girl that features in called Sonia Ricotta. Sonia, and she actually says all the time, like the clues are everywhere.
Yeah.
They're all around you.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like cutting your brother's hair and you're
Yeah.
just thinking nothing of it. You're like, oh, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Hurry up, let's go. And then next thing, you know, that you don't realize that's going to be your career.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you went to college, I ended up doing, I went to film an acting class, and that's how I ended up becoming a producer.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of in front of the camera, and then I was looking at what's going on behind there, and I was thinking, I like that, I like that. And then I didn't realize that that's now where I am, and that's now what my job, my life is, you know?
No, it's mad when you can pick up something like that from what you thought you loved.
Yeah.
You end up doing something even better than what you...
And, you know, now with the podcasts and with the evolution of success and different things, I'm back in front of the camera, but it's kind of on my own terms, and I really like it.
You're in control of it, and
much more,
yeah.
Much more.
But yeah, from that, I suppose I started the barbering.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, I didn't think, I wasn't in the barber industry, so I didn't know how you could get a job at doing barbering or what was the next step. So I took a course so that I could meet people maybe, and from the course I got a job with the people that ran the course in their barbershop.
Okay. So they obviously like spotted
unpaid again. So the same as the fashion thing, and I loved it. It's like I'd work every hour God sent, like, because I'm doing something I loved.
Whenever I was on unemployment and I was working for a production company, just producing feature films for them and driving around the country, and at that point I had like less money than I ever had in my entire life. Like my whole life, I was the least amount of money I'd ever had, but it was genuinely the happiest I ever was. I would have done anything for that company.
Same as me.
Anything.
Like, I know you need money to make it the world go round, and we needed to get up out of bed and to get on with the day.
Well, I ended up then saying to them, look, I need to pay bills. Like, what do I do? You know, I have to. And you know, for me, I was never going to get a job working for somebody at the level that I wanted to work as.
Yes.
So I had to open my own company. You know. Yeah. So you ended up then working for this company, then learning barbering. Got then in touch with another guy and worked for him for over 2 years. He was brilliant. He kind of taught me the backbone of what it was out in Bayside and something. Like, he taught me, I suppose, what it was to be in business for barbering, because he was young like me, and he was only into setting up his own business. So together we kind of built it, and we had fun while doing it. And it was the first time I kind of worked where it wasn't strict, and to be creative was applauded. Like it. Yeah, no, that's definitely it, and it's something that I do try to create with the guys in the office as well. Just like be creative and just, you know, just go wild with it.
And he was the first person, I suppose, that was like do what you do, like show me what you do. Like it was the first time someone's not afraid to put their faith in you and stuff like that. And that means a lot. Like, so you ended up then, at this point you were starting to see all these clues coming in. You're like, right, okay, I've been creative. The college would have built confidence, I would say? College would have built it, because I was really, people say I'm a confident person. I'm actually a shy person, and I have confidence, but where people would assume that because I'm confident, I'm cocky. I'm the total opposite of it. I'm actually like, I'm a quiet person, I'm a shy person. So when I go home, I'm not a loud, mad person or whatever like that. So from what people see from the outside looking in when you're in the shop and stuff like that, like, I'm actually the total opposite of that. So it gave me confidence to go to college, or to be doing something that people now were taking notice of. Yeah. Where I've never had that.
So essentially now, right, you are a business owner right now. You've ended up coming from leaving school to now running your own business and employing people, which is brilliant. Yeah. So what was the next move then? What was the next step? The
next move was I actually went from working with that chap out in Sutton to a brand, a big chain of barbershop actually got in touch with me and asked me would I go and help them open up a shop. And it wasn't something that I wanted to do because I loved where I worked out in Sutton. It was actually really hard for me. But there was two sides of me pulling. I wanted to actually go and see what it was like to work for a chain. I had never done that before, and I decided to take it. We had a chat, me and the chap that we worked with in Sutton, and I took it. I'm delighted that I took it because I only was there for about 4 months, helped them set up this shop. I learned the most that I probably ever learned in business, and it was what not to do.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I could not believe it taught me a lot of what not to do. So I had been learning off this chap out and something of what to do, how to treat people right. That's probably the most important when you start, especially small businesses, is how to treat people, how to treat staff,
customer service.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So
well, that's it. Like we've never really spent money on advertising. It's all word of mouth.
I never did either, ever.
Yeah. We over deliver on every single job.
As well, we'll touch on that maybe when we move forward on when I started the business. But yeah, it's so important.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that, because some of the things you said the other week I thought was really interesting on how you done it.
Yeah.
But so look, the main reason why I sort of wanted to bring you on is to show that people, it's what I sort of keep focusing on all the time. It's like you don't have to be educated to have your own business, or be happy.
Yeah,
like,
but that's exactly it. Like education is not going to be key on how successful you are within business. And I mean, Ireland is at the forefront of change.
Yeah.
Dublin, I think, is probably one of the most exciting cities.
Oh, referendum central. You can't open your eyes and there's a poster up about something.
And some maybe agree, you don't agree with whatever, but subsequently they filter down to affect our business and or impact our business, which has in turn has helped me a lot, has helped small business, has helped. Like, I mean, the coffee shops, the places that open up in Dublin now, like, I mean, I think it's one of the best cities in Europe.
I love it. I just came back from LA, and every time I come back from LA, I'm always thinking, right, that's it, I'm moving straight back out there, because I love it. Yeah. But whatever happens, the opportunity here is insane.
I loved LA. I loved it. But
there's so much opportunity in Dublin.
There's so much opportunity.
So much opportunity in Europe.
And we've learned how to embrace change. Yeah. Which is important.
So right, the next stage is if we just talk
the
about
next change was I left that company and I went back and actually worked for that chap. Yeah. For another year. And then this opportunity came up of the shop. Yeah. I had only been working part-time. Yeah. So the opportunity came up for the shop, which from the jump I was nervous. I'm now back in my head thinking, you're an idiot, you can't do it, and you're not educated. How are you going to run a business? Yeah. But with the help of ICE were brilliant for that. We have like a mutual connection with a company called Inner City Enterprise. ICE is what it is, and that's how we actually met. I think I speak about them all the time, and I know you do as well. Every single radio interview, article, it's all about them, because without ICE, I'll actually do a podcast with Shane, to be honest, at some point, or Van. But we end up, we both helped get our businesses set up and back on the road to like employing people and doing whatever we loved. So we always give them a shout out. They're absolutely amazing. I'll leave their website details below in this somewhere, and you can check them out if you're in Dublin city centre or inner city. I'm not sure what areas they cover. Yeah. But all North Dublin, I think,
and south. Like I was,
over.
Right. So they look after loads of people about getting their businesses off the ground and out working again. So it's brilliant. And
when we actually had that talk last week that we were at for young entrepreneurs and people aspiring to do it, that's what I was saying. We were having a chat off camera at the end then. Be a sponge. Learn from these people. Like, these people are here to help. Be a sponge.
A girl actually messaged me on LinkedIn this morning from last week. Yeah. She messaged and said, thank you so much for last week. And she wanted to send me something over.
I had a chat with a few of them, which they seem really eager, and it's great to see.
Two people came up and asked for internships. Yeah. Came up straight away. They were like, can I be an intern with you? I don't want money. I don't want anything. And I said, look, send me in all of your portfolio. Send me in your stuff. And, you know, I'm not sure if I give Leanne's email address. So I'll have to check with her. But, you know, they do send all the stuff in, and they are brilliant.
It's brilliant.
But Inner City Enterprise do a lot for anybody who's looking to start a business and come through. So you got your business started, so you opened the doors. You're like, right, okay, I'm doing this.
Opened the doors, and nervous was not even. I was up to 100. Like, I remember the first day. I think I actually had 3 or 4 people. We'd never advertised it, and we were actually late opening it. It was supposed to be open before. We were supposed to open before Christmas, but we never opened until the end of January. But we opened anyway. First week, tough. Still, you're a bit excited and nervous. So that kind of part, once that kind of faded off, it would get to then. I used to open 10 to 6 in the evening, and some days one person would come through the door, and that could be at 10 to 6 in the evening. So I'd be standing there from 10 until 10 to 6. It does kill you a bit, like, and I would have a bit of faith in what I'm doing, or even inside, even if I'm not showing it, but it would kill you. I'd go home, brothers and sisters would say to you, like, what happened today? Did you have anyone in today? And I'm like, one person and they're like, do you think it's time that maybe Phelim like gave up or whatever and stuff like that? And I'd be like, no, I have to do this. Held in there for a few months, and my key and what I always was trying to drill home from the start was I was always aware I was building more than just a barbershop. I wanted to build a brand. So it was important from not just the hair customer service, getting the name out there, how I represented myself.
Yeah, I
on
love
camera,
all
on
of your
social
marketing
media.
stuff. So like we'll go through that after a while, but like in a minute. But see, whenever what you're talking about, it's people saying, "So, have you got any jobs?" Now we hit the ground running as well. The first day we booked a job, but then you're just looking for growing and trying to bring in work. It still happens with us all the time. We put out pitches and we're up competing against people, and we lose them, and you think why, and then the ones you win, you're like, brilliant, let's go. So it's great, but. I look starting off, we're pretty much the same. Open the doors, no marketing budget whatsoever.
No budget.
I thought no budget whatsoever, but I thought your marketing, what you talked about last week, the various different marketing things you done because of. Just talk about, tell us just about like where your location was and what you done for like was the best way to get your name out there at the time.
We are in North Dublin. We're in Glasnevin, so we're literally, we couldn't be in a better spot. We're at the top of Griffith Avenue on Moby Road, on an island in the middle of the road, so it kind of sets you apart. It's a cool little location. Glasnevin is actually a really up and coming cool area.
The whole city's just moved out. Stoneybatter,
really
it just
cool.
keeps going.
Some really cool places and coffee shops and places like that open. But from the start then, no marketing budget, no budget for anything. It was just me in the shop, which I worked for the first year by myself. But I wanted to kind of be a little bit different as well, and how I kind of market myself. I come from as I said, my dad has his own business, and his motto is he has company cars and business leaflets. There can't be a spare inch left on the car, on the leaflet, without your logo, your writing, telling them where you are, what you do. And I kind of wanted to come from a different approach because we're at a different time. Like if a leaflet comes through the door, I curl the leaflet up and put it in the bin. I don't want to read it. There's too much on it. There's too much colour. There's too much happening. So I decided I would come out with a business card and make it. It was just plain navy, dark navy. And there was just, our logo is, we have a moustache, like, I'll show you in a minute. But we have a moustache. And I wanted to do that. It's just plain navy on the business card. And the little moustache was silver and it had a reflection on it. So I actually dropped the leaflets or the business cards only to one area, to one housing estate. And I thought if you throw them through the door, the little moustache would reflect at you, so you'd want to pick it up.
You'd be more intrigued because it's so small. It's
like, I wanted
what is that? What is this?
Keep you guessing.
Yeah.
And all it said on the back was the name, the location, and it had then the social media. So it was up to you to search or to even wonder what it was.
Yeah.
So that actually did work out. We had a lot from that housing estate actually within the first few months, intrigued on what it was and stuff like that. As well, we made up, I made wristbands. Yeah. So we did them. And I always thought people used to say to me, oh, that's like real genius, like you're a wristband, or it's real different and stuff like that. But in my head it was, people would come, buy the wristband, but they're doing the marketing for me because now they're walking around with the name of my shop on their wrist. So it's like people
that's it. Like you ended up, so it ended up growing, you end up going, well, so what else? Wristbands, t-shirts,
phone covers, everything. If there was something.
So tell us what
hoodies,
they all are.
T-shirts, shorts, everything.
The gym wear.
There was a gym wear range actually.
What about the backpacks?
There was sports bags. There was a gym right. Every season we kind of. I never wanted to show my cards all at once. So even when I started off, we actually we brought out our own product range and stuff like that. But I didn't want to do it right from the start. It was every year I tried to do something different so that it'd keep people interested rather than.
So your shop is beside, is it
DCU?
DCU. So you obviously then were getting students going around with like your t-shirt on, your backpack on, your wristband on. And at that point, were you seeing people like wanting them, or how did that go? Because
it kind of kicked off. It so happened that I ended up making friends with one group of lads, which ended up being probably the success of how it happened. They were the ones that put the name out there, and were shouting it and wearing t-shirts and wearing bands and getting people on board and everything like that. So a lot of the success, I suppose, was down to, it was nearly all down to the customers. But this one bunch of lads were a great bunch of lads, and they ended up becoming friends. And
so how were you doing this then? So you were like getting paid for doing haircuts, and then you were reinvesting the money in?
Getting paid for doing haircuts, and then, no, because it even, that's why I tried to do it, started after, it will be 2 years. I think it was the second year that we came out with the first set of t-shirts. So any profits that we were making, I was pumping back into the company.
Yeah, I think that's
so I
smart.
do it that way.
Yeah. So
and that to me was
made sense.
More of an achievement for me.
Yeah.
Anything I have done has never been for the money. It was the first time I was able to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm able to mix now cutting the hair with a passion of design and doing clothes, I was in my element. So
well, everything was coming together, and it's weird because even like whenever I done refrigeration, I couldn't understand. I was like, what skills am I bringing from here? But it was managing a team, learn how to communicate with managers, learn all communication skills, all like skills that I use now every day. But we were both nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year back in, when was it, 2015?
Would it have been that long ago? Yeah.
Or maybe 2016?
Yeah, 2016 maybe, yeah.
2016. So we were both nominated with another guy, 3 of us. You won.
Yeah.
I came second. Well, there is no second place.
Yeah, give
well,
over
we end
now.
up one. Bankhouse won Most Innovative Business of 2015. It must have been because we won Most Innovative Business. But I can remember whenever I got shortlisted, all my friends and everybody working with me were like, "Oh my God, you're definitely going to win this."
Yeah.
So I was there going, I was like, Van, who else been nominated?
Yeah.
So whenever I looked into your stuff, I was like, I had said to my mom and everything, I'm definitely not going to win. I was like, this guy is like doing such cool stuff.
I had no confidence in the fact I was going to win at all.
Like everybody around me was saying, I know you're going to win. See, we had just,
I didn't even bring anyone with me. I think I brought my dad because I was just
that
like,
was
there's
good.
no way I'm letting them all come and see fail him at his best. Like.
That was unreal. So, well, we end up doing, on the night we end up going, and that was actually a big turning point for me that whole night, because whenever we ended up, I went through and we've been nominated, so everybody came and you had won your award, and then Bankhouse won Most Innovative Business. So I think we were all pulled at the end. There was 4 of us, and we were doing interviews. There was free drink at
I was
Jameson's.
swamping the wine because I was so nervous. I
was kind of hammered, right? But I was also extremely emotional, right? Because it was only about a year and a half previous that I didn't even have any money. Wasn't even like, hadn't got anything at all. Like, and now we'd won this award.
Here you are, yeah.
And I knew what was in the pipeline for Bankhouse because we had just done a deal for South to go on to RTE and into cinemas, and all this stuff was happening. And I got really, really emotional, and the guy just came over from the Irish Times and was like, can I do a quick interview with you? And I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, so do you want to and I ended up telling him everything, right?
Yeah.
About being on unemployment, all the stuff that I was like ashamed to say to anybody, right? And one of my friends messaged me the next day and said, you didn't tell anybody that you were on unemployment or you were going through such a hard time. And it's now a massive spread in the Irish Times. And I was just like, for me, then I realised article
the first time you were comfortable.
I got shared from our Facebook page over 10,000 times, and that was we had only like a couple of hundred followers at the time. And that's whenever I realised, okay, all the crap stuff that I went through, it's now my strength.
Same as me. Like, I mean, I've been holding back then for so many years of what you're not good at and what you're told you can't do and stuff like that, to now be able to even see now lads that you're employing and stuff like that, and them progressing in what they do, and it's great to be able to.
Oh no, it is brilliant, and I think we do owe ICE a lot. Like I always say it, I say it to them all the time. Catherine rang me yesterday, and I'm doing a video for her. She's like, "How much is that going to be?" And I was like, "It doesn't matter." But we do a lot. We do owe them a lot. So just to go back on to, so you've got the business now, and I really want to show people that whenever they're coming out, that they can open a business. So how did you end up getting a lease, or how could you afford it? Like, what? Even just talk us through the practicalities of that.
Brothers, sisters, dad probably helped me a lot. Without my brothers and sisters, lost. Like, I mean, even down to today when we're coming here today. Yeah. I'm like at home last night going, guys, you have to help me how to word something, or like, I'm an idiot when it comes to things like this.
I know, but it's like a conversation, and that's one thing that you probably just will have to get used to, because last week you did say you were really, really nervous before you went up on stage, and I thought it was extremely inspirational.
Yeah, just swallow it, like just swallow it and just take a deep breath and go. Like, it's like, but I'm nervous about speaking because I don't say things right. Maybe that's where I'm nervous.
That's normal. So how does someone then? So give someone the advice if you've just got a passion for cutting hair, like what do you do?
It's down to anything. I was talking to actually a girl that I was talking to on the day that we were doing the chat. She's a makeup artist. So it's down to anything. It's not just about barbering. It's not just about even what you're into, film making and stuff like that. Don't let people knock you. Believe in yourself. Like, you have to believe in yourself. Without that, you're not going to be able to go any further, because there's so many knockbacks that we get. Yeah. You have to just get back up, take it on the chin. We're businessmen now. We have to keep rolling. And one thing I learned in business, time does not stand still. You have to keep going. So there's no point in feeling sorry for yourself. Get back up. No one else is going to bail you out. Let's go. It's our name. It's our face. So once you kind of have a passion for it, you're driven. They're the key things that I had when I was growing up. As we're saying, not educated and stuff like that. People are knocking you. Always had a drive. Always knew deep down somehow I was going to get out of the funk that I was in. And there was too much inside me that still to this day
do you think that that's inside everybody?
It's not inside I don't think it's inside everyone. Who am I to say? But I don't think business...
No, I mean, like...
passion and drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's inside. There's people that take back burners and they're good at taking it. And if everyone was passionate and driven...
The way that I look at it as well is, like, if somebody is taking the back burner, they're very passionate about it, and that's the thing. Like, I go out and I'm very passionate about bringing in, like, the website, but the guy who works on the website is very passionate about delivering them. So there's, like, two different elements to it. I think that everybody does have, like, the ability. I think everybody does.
Everyone does have the ability.
Figuring out what it is. Yeah. Like, it's figuring out, like, you have to try different things and you have to see what's going on to, to try.
No, I do agree with that. Sorry. Who am I to say that no one has passion or whatever? Everyone does.
But it's not everybody knows what they're passionate about.
Yeah, and maybe they don't want to be passionate about anything. I don't want, them people that's not necessarily wrong. I mean, they make up what we have as business people. They're the people that are, what you're saying, doing the website, or just want to chill and I don't want to be in front of the camera, or maybe I don't want to do this, or I don't. Without them, we wouldn't be able to be where we are.
That's it. Like, and I've said this from the start, like, even whenever we're doing this mindset and marketing podcast, and whenever we're doing anything with the evolution of success or Bankhouse Media, I'm very fortunate now that there's full lighting crew, researcher, somebody who's producing the podcast, someone who's updating the website. I don't do any of that stuff. Yeah. And even whenever I sit down, but like that I'm not meant to. We all are. This is the thing, and whenever. If you try to do everything yourself, it just ends up being a nightmare, where now you're able to take the day off and come and do this.
Delegate. I've great lads that work for me now.
So tell us what it's like now today then. What is it?
It's still tough. It's still hard. Businesses, I think, who am I to say, but business for me, what I've been through, every day is a new day. Every day is, you have to be turned on every day. There's people looking at you every day. Customers, we get new customers every day. Staff. Yeah. Staff is hard to keep them happy, to keep them motivated. They're great lads. I have great lads with me now, and I try to treat them the best I possibly can. I try to be the fairest, because I hadn't had nice bosses before, so I try to do the opposite. I don't see why you have to actually be a horrible person to be a boss. I know I probably
have your moments.
Some people say as well, then, you're going to let people walk all over you and stuff like that.
I do try to give the benefit of the doubt as much as possible. So it comes to the point where you're like, right, okay, I can't do anymore. This is but that just comes with, like, managing people and just working with different personalities. I find is like managing staff. Everybody's different.
Everyone's different,
and especially in the creative world, everybody's different. If someone's a producer, they're like, very driven and direct and can be very forward, and then if you're working some creatives, they're not so much. So it's kind of like you just have to. It's all about working with people and people management,
and building a relationship with them. Like, I'd even get customers that maybe come through the door now, and they'd be like, "Your staff, like, you work them to the bone, you pay them or whatever," and it's like that to me just doesn't sit well. It's like I have young lads working for me now. I was young. Like, just do your work. It's all I ask for. Do your work. I'll look after you. You look after me.
I know.
When we close the door in the shop, go home, have fun. Like, it's like, you don't have to be, I'm the one that's left to deal with the stress. You know what I mean?
So what is your current product range at the minute? So you go seasonal and you go through. So
seasonal. So we try bring out new things every now and again, new phones.
Seasonal. You've made that all sound very easy. So we've got the shop set up now. So you've got a lease, you've got it running. How do you go into production then of a range? Because someone right now might have, say, 6,000 or 7,000 followers on Instagram, and they might think, I want to do that. I can't afford to. This is not for me. What is the steps that you even have to do that?
It's hard. It's hard in Dublin, Ireland as well. It's expensive. It's then people say to you, why don't you go foreign and get them done foreign? I'm a control freak. I want to see the product. I want to know who's doing it. I want to. So I have too much control in things. I get them made in Dublin. It's hard, but with the lads that I have working in the shop now, it frees me up a little bit of time that I'm able to use the creative kind of genes that I have and have a bit of fun and stuff like that or whatever. We do seasonal. We try bring out like a summer kind of range and then a wintry kind of range, which is more kind of subtly kind of. But the summer range, there's swimming pools on them or ice pops and stuff like that, and it's a bit of crack, and you're ultimately having a bit of fun, and that's all it is. Let's not take it too serious. We're running a barber shop. That's my key. Good haircuts are first. It's a barber shop. Then the rest is just having a bit of crack. It's a brand, so we're building the brand. Our product range, which I brought along today. Like we brought out this. These are the smaller little range sizes we brought, but this is like a little travel pack that we launched for summer. Brilliant. So now you can bring this to the airport, and you don't have to.
You don't even have to take
so
it out
it's
of
a
the bag.
little bag with like our little logo or whatever on it, and
That's it.
we made them all then with sample size in it. We do shampoo, conditioner. There's the sea salt texture spray, and then the little pucks of the gels or whatever.
See that's great. That is
slick. Like smells them. I know that's probably a weird thing to do. Smell it.
No.
Some of the spray, the sea salt spray.
How do you go about then?
In the UK, they're made, so it's just a matter of getting onto company sampling.
Yeah.
Making sure picking what you like from your range.
I feel like we've skimmed over so much here. We've went from being like, okay, you're an entrepreneur that is now literally you've made it sound so easy.
No, it's not easy, and it's not.
It is doable though.
It's doable, but it's hard work. It's like I don't have a life. I actually don't have a life. I'm sad, like. But
this is your life.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, look, Bankhouse and all the projects I work on are my life. I don't even drink anymore. I feel sometimes I say I'm boring, but like I went to a wedding at the weekend and everybody was drinking probably to 6 a.m. I was home. It was a long day, and I was gone from 10 o'clock that morning, but I was home in bed at 12 o'clock. Loved it. And then I was up straight down the road back into the office and was working on Sunday. Yeah. And I loved it. I love it. And I wouldn't change anything now.
Well, same as me. Like customers come into me and the weekend, they're hungover or whatever like that, and they're like, "What you do the weekend?" And I'm like, "Nothing, just chilled or worked out or whatever, something that I didn't get time to do during the week." And they're like, "Do you ever go out?" And it's like, no, I'm single. Like, I mean, my best friends are my brothers and sisters. We all hang out with each other. And
so what inspired this then? How did that just come into your head? Were you like going through the airport and you thought, this is annoying?
Yeah, I'm going through everywhere. I'll be walking out this building today and I'll be designing something there. Yeah, I was going away. One year, it was my first kind of holiday thing. We're going to the airport and we're up there and people are saying to me, plastic bags. I only bring on hand luggage anyway. I'm not into that checking in. And I don't have plastic bags. So I get to the airport and now I'm holding up a queue, and that's my pet peeve is people that do that.
Yeah.
So they were my little products that I was taking out and putting them into someone else's bag at the airport.
Yeah.
And I realised, let's try
so
I can do the complete package
and then identify it and
it's the complete package now. Come into the shop, get your hair cut.
And everything,
That's the one thing. We're gonna try work on that. I did sample that, but we couldn't get one. It was like a yard brush, so I didn't want to do that. But you can come into the shop, get a haircut, get your products, and go straight to the airport.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it is great. I've often said that someone should open a barber shop in the airport and market it that they know it's there, so someone can get in and make
it's tough, I think, to get in and rent and stuff like that, whatever. But we did them. For some reason, a lot of girls buy our products, and they love the sea salt for beachy hair and that kind of crap or whatever. Yeah. But we did it that the bag now you can sell it. It sells. Sorry, I'm wrecking the place.
No worries.
But the bag now, women come in and buy them without the products in it, so they sell without it as well. So they bring their
Brilliant, yeah.
makeup and stuff like that in it. And
It is great. So what's next then?
what is next? For a long time, it was supposed to be open another shop. It's just finding the right shop, finding the right location, utilizing the staff. Obviously, the staff that I have then will be managers in the new shops and stuff like that or whatever. So it's just...
What do you think about the way things are going? So that's bricks and mortar, right? So you're going back
Yes.
into shop fits and things like that. And then you're managing people, you're managing time. It's taking up more of your time. Like, what do you think of the new digital age? What do you think of digital products? What do you think of like selling like your clothes on Instagram, for example, and bringing it to... What is your opinion on that this whole era that we're going through right now?
I don't think it'll last forever.
Okay.
I don't know, who am I to say, but Dublin, like, experience, I like to touch, I like to feel something, I like to, if I'm buying it, I like to, I mean, it's easy to shop online and stuff like that or whatever, but it's also, we need them shops to go in that then we can go home and we shop online. We seem to do that a lot in...
I think, my opinion is, I think shopping online is probably going to get bigger, but where we move, where we shop is going to be different.
Yeah.
Like Instagram's got a shop now. Websites are now coming back much more. People are using them a lot more for booking forms and for e-commerce sites and WooCommerce and purchasing straight through it.
But what do we do if everything goes online? What is the city then? How do we create atmosphere? I know it's the year,
I think it has been changing. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm thinking the reason why I asked you that is, like, there's possibly an opportunity for you to grow your business, reach a bigger audience, and also have more time for yourself. You know, a big audience. So,
but I still want to have feet on the ground then as well, so you can come in. I like the option of both.
I don't think you should ever close shops.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, instead of like opening a chain, maybe going back into your design stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that something?
Love that. It's eventually what I would love to end up doing.
Yeah.
But it's a hard market in Dublin. Everyone's at it. Every Tom, Dick and Harry that's cool on Instagram thinks they can bring out a hoodie in it.
I know, I suppose.
So,
but if you've got like, whenever you've got like a bit of an edge, you are creative, like coming up with these different designs. I recommend it would be something worth exploring for you, like, because you've proven even with wristbands, swimwear, gym wear,
definitely,
everything.
yeah. And what we're trying to do, launch her, like that's what the main goal was as well, was to open the second him and launch a her then. So we're going to try get into doing it, open up a hairdresser's kind of end of it, and then you'll have kind of more fun then in the merchandise with them as well. And
it is great, and it's like how many? So I think we're around the same for just under 5 years in business. Like a lot has happened.
Has happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Good and bad. Staff have come, gone, burnt it. No, but that's business. You can't cry about it. It's not a personal attack. It's...
So what advice would you give to someone who is like just got their Leaving Cert results right now and they're not great? Or they didn't even sit the exam?
Yeah, well, again, like that, education, I don't think is going to define how successful you are in business. I think it's extremely important to have an education if you can. I'm not knocking education. I actually would have loved to be educated. It just, it wasn't for me. But it's... Once you have that passion and you have drive, you can embrace change. You're willing to. You need a thick skin. Yeah. I mean, it's business is not for everyone. That doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're lesser of what I am because I owned a business. Yeah. Without the people that work for me, I don't have a business. Of course. So, we can't have too many chiefs without Indians.
No,
it's
people just don't. It's a stressful.
It's
it's a lot of stress, as we both have.
It's not for everyone.
Have lives,
but
so they just
anyone can do it.
And then what if you're a barber now and you're literally watching this and you're like, I'm working for someone. I've been working for someone for 4 years. I see exactly what they're doing wrong. What's the advice to them for like opening up on their own, or what do they need to
think
do
about
next?
it? Like really think about it. It's not something that needs to be done overnight. There's plenty of time to be doing it. You want to do it right. If you're gonna do it right. Sit down. As I was saying to you when we were having that the chat we had at the business meeting. People who say to me, do a business plan. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll go do a business plan or whatever. I turn around and go home and I'd be like, what is a business plan? Like I was left scale. I don't know what a business plan is. So I kind of had to interpret it into what I knew, which was I made it into a mood board. My business plan was a mood board. So I'd visually put things, all right, this is what you need. This is what you don't need. And again, week after week, I'd add to it. And I'd always try to fail on everything that I put up on the business plan just to see how I would get out from it.
Yeah. No.
So I tried to fail
yeah.
on the business plan so that I could work out how I would fix the fails before I actually was faced them. I know I can't. There's something new every day.
I do that a lot as well. So whenever I'm going into a meeting, I'm always thinking, okay, what potentially could go wrong here?
Yeah.
And then I have an answer
Yeah.
for it. Or like I look at all the stuff that could go wrong. I deal with like my worst fear all the time.
Yeah.
One of my friends actually, she was going into business and she constantly is living in this fear. And I said, what if that happened though? I said, what if that happened?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. How would you get out of it? What would you do? And she's like, oh my God, yeah, right enough. So I'm the same as you, where I sort of like look and say, right, okay, how could I possibly get out of this if I wanted to get my feet back on the ground and on the right path? You're going to fail though. And then
it's not bad to fail.
Yeah.
King of the fail. It's just how you get back from a fail. It's like you can lie down and take it, or else get back up and keep going. Like, and I enjoyed starting in businesses that I did, in companies working. I was unpaid. I was an intern. Love it. I love starting from the ground up. Prove yourself. That's key. Prove yourself. Don't have an attitude or an ego. We can all say we're great.
Yeah.
But can we be great?
Brilliant. And then if we just go for like, what would be your top marketing tip without a budget? We talked about it there a lot, all your stuff. But like,
don't be annoying and don't try follow other people.
Okay.
Don't try follow other people. You're gonna get caught out. Like, so it's like, just be original. Even if you're always gonna be slagged. There's always gonna be people that don't like it. You'll probably stand out more for being original. So that's what it's about. Like, in your head, just think like your main objective is for people to take notice. So what can you do for them to take notice? That's fitting with the brand.
So figure out what your main objective is and just focus on it.
Figure out who you are, what your brand is, what your end goal is, or where you see yourself going, what you want to do, like, and then go for that. Like, crawl before you walk.
Yeah. Setting goals is something that I focus on. Do you think this stuff was like in you, like instinctually? Like, do you think it was?
If I look back, I seem to have been like that way. I'm controlling and I'm OCD and I know where I'm going, type of thing. I'm not. I don't know where I'm going. I know where I want to go. It's just getting there. Hasn't always been 100. Like, I've fell a lot of the times, but I'll get back up. I'll take a good beat, like. Yeah. But I enjoy it and it's fun. It needs to be fun as well. I mean, come on. I'm not curing nothing. I'm just having fun, like. So
there you go. I think that is actually a really good place to leave it. Is there anything else you sort of want to cover? No, it's just at the end of the day, like, we're both having fun. Look at the two of us. We're doing stuff that we love. Yeah. And again, you see what you're saying, young lads looking and stuff like that, or even girls, and the way we were talking to them people, and they're looking at you and they're saying, but you had this opportunity, but what about, like, there's loads of other barber shops that are more successful, say, than me, or that maybe frightened me at the start or stuff like that. But I don't get jealous. I'm not a jealous person. Yeah. There is room for everyone. I actually had a bit of advice. I went out for dinner with a producer in LA back in 2013, whenever I was still sort of acting, and he'd actually said to me at the time, have you ever thought about being a producer? I think you might be suited to it because you're quite personable, and I think you might be. But he actually said to me, look, you will get the opportunity to be a producer, and he said everybody that comes to LA gets their opportunity to do it. He said, but just the majority of them don't take it. And he said, like, people will say, leave to LA, and they'll say, oh, it didn't work out for me. Yeah. It didn't work out because you didn't take the opportunity. Every single person gets the opportunity. You could have went to that audition, or you could have went to meet with a friend, or you just have said, no, I'm not going to do that. Sure, why would they pick me? Yeah. You know, and I think that is one thing that the two things. One, things aren't happening to you; they're happening for you.
Yeah.
That's something that I keep banging on about.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you do get the opportunities, so you just make sure you take them.
Yeah, it's just taking them when they present themselves, and not like, I mean, again, there's other barbershops that are probably doing better than me.
Yeah.
I don't cry about it. I don't want to be them.
Yeah.
They're doing brilliant at what they do. I don't hate them. There's plenty of heads to go around. I'm doing my own thing.
It's one thing, your hair keeps growing.
Yeah, I'm doing my own thing. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that's
And
all.
what if someone wants to like either buy your products, buy your clothes, or even come in and maybe intern or come in and be, trial or anything like that? Is that something that you're open to?
Yeah, I'm always open to new things. I'm always open to change. I'm always open to, it's what makes it go around. It's what's keep us going for the last 5 years. Trying new things, being open. We're in a community in Glasnevin. Love it. I don't like the kind of hustle bustle of town or whatever. I love that we're in a community. We get the DCU and the FINA, the GAA lads. It's brilliant.
So you're branding him, right?
Yes.
So the name, how did that come about, or why do you think that was important?
Simple, clean. I wanted to keep it. I wanted that I can, even from the get-go, I can move to a different location without being tagged with the area that I'm in, that I originally opened. I wanted to be able to put the name on clothing, on phone covers. That was a vision in my head from day one. Really? So I didn't really want to call it Robbie's Barbers because it wouldn't look good in a t-shirt. So in my head I was building a barbershop and a brand. It was always important to me. So to keep it simple, keep it clean. Whenever
I was looking at names, whenever I left Inner City Enterprise, Shane said to me, I said, what do I need to do? And he said, no, I've got it under control. Everything's sweet. All you need to do now is pick a name. Yeah. So I was thinking, oh my God, what am I going to call this? So I was looking at Matthew Toman Productions, and then I thought, if I want to sell the company at any point or want to exit, how can that happen? Whenever it's my name. And I was walking all the way over. I was living on Thomas Street at the time, and I was going into my building, and the building was called Bankhouse. And I thought, Bankhouse Productions, and then I was like, do you want to know what? I'm going to call it Bankhouse. And it was 2 words, so I put Bankhouse together as one word. Yeah. So it's easy for finding Google and stuff like that. And then I ended up, so that was that apartment meant so much to me. Valerie O'Connor, who let me stay there for 400 quid a month. Me and Valerie were actually talking about it, that we both were at the hardest parts of our lives at that point. Yeah. Well, she wasn't. We were nervous breakdown all over the place. We laugh about it. I was going through a tough time. She was, finding her feet, just got a new apartment. She's now with her partner and got 2 beautiful children and living in the most gorgeous house in Wicklow. So her life went, the goals that we had set at that time, it's lovely for me to see that happen in her life. And also, what's happening with Bankhouse, she sold that apartment, but Bankhouse essentially lives on through the company. Yeah. But I think the name and stuff is really important, and thinking about things like not calling it your name. Yeah. Is like I agree. It's for some people. Yeah. It wasn't for me. It needed to be clean, simple, and even from like day one, as sad as it is, like I used to be sitting there thinking before it even had come to me having a shop. When I got the name like him, I'd be like thinking like eventually we're gonna open a her, and I had like the little slogan or whatever that was gonna like behind every great him there was gonna be a her. Like I wanted to open them back to back, like that kind of way, and work them that way. Like I'm always, if you go through my phone, there's about 10 or 20 names of different brands. It's good though. Look, I mean, it's just now. That's why I'm saying to you, because like whenever your feet on the ground and you're like trading time, I think you've got much more like to give. And I think by going more maybe digital and having products online selling and being able to build brands and grow brands, it might be a next good step. And that's what annoys me as well, is like you're saying to me there's I think you've more to give, but there's so many people like me that are shunned and are afraid because of what they've been told. And that's my main goal, is it doesn't define, like it's if I can do it, anyone can do it. Well, thank you very much. That's a good place to sort of leave it. So thanks very much, Robert, for coming in. Brilliant. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. And I look forward to using your products, trying them anyway. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, check out us on Spotify, YouTube, everything like that. And all of our links are below.